Why is it that a particular motorbike gets under your skin and gets chosen for long-distance rides when other, more suitable, probably more reliable bikes languish in the garage? Honestly, I have no answers. The best I can come up with is that for me, it has a magic that other bikes just don't. Since I bought this 1972 Moto Guzzi Eldorado, I've ridden it many miles. Over the years, I've ridden this bike on countless Northern Ontario and Quebec back roads, including the James Bay Highway and the Trans-Tiger Road. I rode it across Labrador before the Trans-Labrador Highway was paved. While it's fair to say that those miles haven't always been completely trouble-free, it's never failed to get me home, but much more importantly, it has never failed to make me smile. This is a personal celebration of my bike. It's an update, if you like, of a cheesy video I made back in 2013, which you can still find on my video channel. This isn't an advertisement for Moto Guzzi's old or new. The last thing I want to do is to encourage anyone to rush out and buy an old Eldorado based on the pleasure I get from my bike. I don't have any illusions that Moto Guzzis are the best bikes or special in any way. But this bike is special to me. Life has not always been trouble-free. At the Labrador coast I had to do a temporary fix to secure the generator which had come loose. When I got home I replaced it with an alternator, but this too came loose on the James Bay Road, grinding through an oil line, resulting in a total loss of oil and a flatbed truck recovery to Radisson. In Radisson, I was able to repair the oil line with some JB weld. Amazingly, this fix got me the 900 miles home. Punctures are just a minor inconvenience which can happen to anyone. After putting up with a slow leak for many miles on the Trans-Tiger Road, the tube finally gave up the ghost a few miles short of Radisson. An easy roadside fix. And before starting up the Dempster Highway in the Yukon, I did a quick campsite tyre change at Pelly Crossing. It's dead easy, as long as you're carrying all the necessary tools. Of course, eventually, after 100,000 miles of sucking countless cubic meters of gravel dust, things do wear out. The gearbox needed some work, and as I discovered soon after, one of the pistons was knocking. I can manage the teardowns, but when it comes to skilled mechanical work, sometimes it's best left to the experts. A refreshed gearbox, new pistons and Nickel cylinders, and a new oil pump, and she's ready for many more miles. So after a quick 500-mile break-in day, I headed across Canada to the Yukon. I won't pretend there weren't a few hiccups along the way, but the old girl still did the 9,000-mile trip in style. Throughout all these miles, not surprisingly, the bike has acquired some patina. On the way back from my trip to the Arctic Circle, I had to do a temporary coil replacement. When I removed the tape, the paint came with it. During my Trans-Labrador trip, the gravel dust trapped between my waterproof bag and the top of the panniers ground some divots through the paint into the fiberglass. The paint is wearing a little thin on the tank where my tank bag rubs. The right side exhaust leaks a little at the head, and the rear mudguard has a little split in the back. The speedometer gave up accurately recording my speed years ago. Will I fix these? I doubt it. They're honorary war wounds and part of her character. She may not be the prettiest bike on the road, but I wouldn't hesitate to ride across the continent again tomorrow. I'd just be sure to take all my tools. This isn't a bike that would suit everyone. I accept that roadside interruptions, carb adjustments and ignition timing tweaks are just a normal part of owning and actually using a classic bike. I readily accept that for some people the idea of having to pull over in the middle of nowhere to play with your machine is the last thing you might want to happen. Modern bikes don't tend to break down, and when they do, the chances are that there's little you can do to fix them. Older bikes may stumble to a halt, but it's usually because of some simple thing that can be fiddled with enough to get you limping back onto the road. But that's not really the point. I ride this bike because at some deep level it satisfies me. It's in tune with my spirit. I love the sound, the feel, and the experience every time I hit the road. There's something about the cadence of the engine that encourages me to ride long, long days, then do the same again tomorrow. It isn't the fastest machine on the road, but the miles pass inexorably. It fits like an old glove. It just suits me. If you enjoyed this short video and would like to hear or read more about my motorcycles, travel and adventures, please zip over to my website at www.nickadamswriting.com www.nickadamswriting.com. I have a number of short motorcycle travel books available in paperback, digital download, and now in audiobook format, narrated by, well, you guessed it. Thank you very much for listening.